Imagine you're deep in the ocean. Everything's quiet until a shadow the size of a bus swims past. No, bigger than a bus. You've just met Megalodon, an ancient monster, 60 feet long, with a bite force of 18 tons. It could bite a whale in half without slowing down. A living torpedo made of pure muscle and teeth. But what if that isn't the scariest thing in the ocean? Because even today, there's a predator that rules the seas not through brute strength, but pure strategy. The orca, or killer whale. Highly social, incredibly smart, and dangerous enough that even great white sharks abandon entire regions when a pod of orcas arrives. Orcas communicate, coordinate, and even teach each other hunting techniques. So here's the question. If Megalodon still existed today, would orcas still be kings of the ocean? One is a prehistoric wrecking machine, the other, a strategic assassin. Brains versus brawn. Evolution versus extinction. Strategy versus strength. In this hypothetical deep-sea showdown, we'll break down how each animal hunts, what would happen if they met, and whether 5 orcas working together could bring down the largest shark that ever lived. Let's dive in. For most of Earth's history, there has never been a predator as overwhelming as Megalodon. This wasn't just a big shark. It was the final product of millions of years of evolution, optimized purely for killing the largest animals on the planet. Megalodon reached lengths of up to 60 feet and likely weighed over 50 tons. Its jaws alone were large enough for a human to stand inside, lined with thick, serrated teeth, the size of your hand. Each bite delivered an estimated 18 tons of force, the strongest bite ever known to exist on Earth. When Megalodon attacked, bones didn't resist, they shattered. Unlike modern great white sharks that target seals, Megalodon specialized in hunting whales. Fossilized whale bones have been found with massive bite marks that perfectly match Megalodon teeth. It didn't rely on clever tactics or teamwork. Its strategy was brutally simple: charge, bite, and end the fight instantly. And because prehistoric oceans were warmer, richer, and filled with giant prey, Megalodon had everything it needed to become unstoppable. No animal could challenge it head-on. For millions of years, Megalodon wasn't just an apex predator. It was the ocean's absolute ceiling. If Megalodon was a prehistoric juggernaut, then the modern orca is a high-level strategist. Often called killer whales, orcas are actually the largest members of the dolphin family, and they've earned their terrifying reputation. But unlike Megalodon, their strength isn't just in their size. It's in their brains. Orcas are among the most intelligent animals on Earth. They communicate with complex vocalizations, use echolocation like sonar to track prey, and most importantly hunt in coordinated pods, often with military-level precision. Their social structure allows them to pass down learned behaviors from one generation to the next, essentially creating cultures within different pods. Some pods specialize in hunting fish, others in seals, and a few in sharks. What's terrifying is that orcas don't just attack sharks, they know their weak spots. Multiple recorded events have shown orcas flipping sharks upside down, inducing tonic immobility, a state where the shark becomes paralyzed, then they bite the liver out with surgical accuracy and leave the rest. At only around 20 to 26 feet long, an orca is far smaller than a megalodon. But they don't need brute strength. They use intelligence, teamwork, and adaptability to dominate the modern ocean. No predator today hunts with more precision than the orca. So what happens when unstoppable force meets calculated precision? On paper, Megalodon crushes orcas in almost every physical category. It's bigger by over 3 times. Stronger, its bite force alone could cripple any sea creature alive today. And faster in short bursts, using its massive tail to launch ambushes. Its size also meant it didn't need to dodge or hide, it simply swam forward and dominated. But here's where it gets complicated. Orcas don't fight alone. They hunt in pods often, 5 or more working together, and in terms of raw brainpower, there's no contest. Orcas understand group strategy, flanking, misdirection, and timing. They've been observed working together to create waves that knock seals off icebergs, and even using bait to lure in prey. In a face-off, Megalodon would dominate a one-on-one brawl, but orcas would never fight it that way. Their tactics would center around coordination, distracting it, harassing it, isolating weak points, and attacking from angles it can't defend. Size gives Megalodon armor. Intelligence gives orcas a scalpel. It's the ultimate contrast, prehistoric brute force versus modern cooperative warfare. A single mistake from Megalodon could cost it everything. And a perfectly timed strike from a pod might just be enough. Let's set the stage. 5 orcas, 1 Megalodon, same ocean, same moment. In deep, open water, Megalodon controls the opening. Its sheer size, power, and bite force make it a nightmare in straight combat. One clean hit from those jaws could instantly crush an orca's skull. It's not a fair fight head-on, and the orcas know that. They wouldn't charge. They'd circle, probe, observe, just like they do with great white sharks today. They're not impulsive. They're strategic. Orcas would likely attempt to harass Megalodon from all directions. One would dart in at the front, feinting a strike. Another might approach the tail. A third might vocalize to confuse it through echolocation interference. The goal isn't to kill it in one move. The goal is to wear it down, exploit gaps in its reaction time, and search for the soft tissue under the gills or belly. But Megalodon isn't a great white. It's a living war machine. Its skin is thick. Its bulk alone creates powerful shockwaves with every tailbeat. And in open water, orcas don't have terrain or coral formations to use as cover. A single miscalculation could get one instantly obliterated. However, orcas have another advantage: endurance. They can swim for hours, coordinate silently, and adapt their tactics mid-hunt. Megalodon, built for ambush power, might start to fatigue if it has to constantly pivot and react. Now, shift the battle to shallower waters. Here, the tide turns literally. Megalodon's enormous frame becomes harder to maneuver. The orcas, with tighter turning radii and sonar guidance, gain the upper hand. They could use the shallows to their advantage, striking from below, retreating, and then attacking again from another side. Like wolves circling a bear. Could they flip Megalodon? Unlikely, but if they can target the gills, rupture soft tissue, or disable its tail, they might immobilize it enough to go in for lethal strikes. The death would be slow, coordinated, and brutal, but the outcome isn't guaranteed. It's a battle of patience versus power, brains versus brawn, and above all, teamwork versus terror. A win would demand perfect timing, zero mistakes, and total cooperation from the orcas. Anything less, and it becomes a massacre. So, who would really win? In terms of raw power, Megalodon was almost untouchable until it wasn't. Evolution doesn't favor brute strength forever. As oceans cooled and ecosystems shifted, intelligence became the new apex weapon. And no modern creature wields it better than the orca. Orcas dominate today's oceans not because they're the biggest, but because they're the smartest, most adaptable, and most coordinated predators alive. They outthink, outmaneuver, and outlast. Megalodon was a perfect hunter for a prehistoric world filled with massive prey and little resistance. But that world is gone. Orcas inherited an ocean that demanded evolution, and they answered. Could 5 orcas take down a Megalodon? Maybe. In the right setting, shallow water, perfect coordination, and zero mistakes, it's possible. But make no mistake, they'd be gambling everything. Even the smallest error could result in instant death. And yet, that's exactly what makes this hypothetical so fascinating. It's not just about size. It's about adaptation, strategy, and survival. Orcas are the ultimate example of brains evolving to beat brawn. And maybe, just maybe, that would be enough. But now, we want to hear from you. Would the orcas win? Or would Megalodon remind us all why it once ruled the ancient seas without question? Drop your verdict in the comments, Team Orca or Team Megalodon. And while you're here, smash that like button, subscribe for more wild matchups, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into the world's most legendary predators. The next Apex battle might just blow your mind.